Hey, it's Cliff Morgan here. Thanks for joining me once again. I wanted to ask you today, how would you describe a healthy workplace relationship? What's the evidence that it's healthy? Is it that you enjoy eating lunch together every single day? Is it that you enjoy each other's company and you have fun when you work? Are you constantly joking with one another? I had a client recently who, in a coaching session, he was executive who was complaining about his relationship that he had with a colleague. Now, they were very different from one another. Their profiles were on the opposite sides of the disc model, if you're familiar with the disc model. He was an SI and very dynamic but people focused. Their colleague was a DC, a very task focused and results driven. Now, they'd had a somewhat rocky history as a result of those differences, and they were able to collaborate when they're in the room and they needed to, but my client was lamenting that they weren't closer together, despite his repeated attempts to try and improve those dynamics. And I remember him sitting across from me and he just kind of sighed in utter resentment. It's like, I'm never going to be close to this person. Is that okay? And is that healthy? And so the question becomes like, what is healthy? Now, there's a misconception that some people have, and I run into it quite frequently, that for relationships to be healthy, two individuals need to be quite close. For a relationship to be close, spending time together between the two individuals needs to be a pleasurable experience for both parties. The engagement needs to be pleasurable, and when it is, then the individuals both naturally lean in. They want more, and they relate more on a personal level as well as a professional level. Now, such relationships, they kind of often involve high degrees of similarities between both individuals. There'll be similar personalities, there might be shared backgrounds and common experiences. Often they have aligned perspectives on the world. And this similarity, well, it leads to a comfort of being in each other's company. And because of that comfort, there's this greater investment in the relationship and therefore the increased closeness. Now, barring kind of the development of problematic codependence, which is a whole nother thing, that is definitely a healthy relationship in the workplace. But then there are those people who are different. Not better, not worse, they're just different. If you're an introvert, well, they're going to be the extrovert. If you love strategy in the big picture, they're going to be one that's focused on the details and the process. If you're an only child, maybe they come from a background with a family with 7 siblings. And if you're trying to develop the team, maybe they're pushing for results. Not better, not worse, just very different ways of viewing the world. Now, we can often sort of say, well, opposites attract, but often that occurs in our personal lives more in the professional world. At work, in our professional worlds, opposites often cause friction, and that causes frustration rather than pleasure. Instead of naturally leaning in, our default is actually avoidance. We want to work with other people who are similar to us rather than those who are different. But engagement with those individuals, well, it often requires a whole lot of intentional effort and it costs us extra energy. Now, does that mean the relationship's unhealthy? And my answer would be not at all. There is much to be gained by working alongside someone who is different from you. Indeed, really, it's the only way that you can leverage diversity, that you can harness the benefits of complementary strengths. Health in this context is not based on closeness, it's based on understanding. Because if you're going to work effectively with someone who is different from you, you need to understand them. You need to respect them and value their differences. And out of that foundation, you need to learn more about those differences so that you can work alongside them and with them. It means asking them to explain their thought processes when it's different to yours. It's taking time to consider their priorities. It's going to mean seeking their perspective and inviting feedback and challenge because of their difference, from their place of difference. Now, all of this takes a whole lot of effort. It isn't always easy, and it usually produces a higher quality of work, though. And that's one of the key differences. Now, it produces a high quality of work, but it also produces something different. See, while those close relationships cultivate pleasure, relationships based on understanding of difference often produce satisfaction. See, satisfaction comes from the application of effort and energy towards a specific result. The very fact that a difference-based relationship is harder and more effortful, it means that when you collaborate and you actually achieve some sort of outcome, it's often more satisfying as a result. So I'm happy to say that my client, he continues to have a healthy relationship with his colleague, even though it's not a close one. Now, it required a bit of a perspective shift for him, but he's okay with that now. So my question to you would be, in your world, which relationship might benefit from this perspective shift for you? I encourage you to identify someone that you are not close with. And this week, seek to learn 3 things about how they view the world. And hopefully that's going to improve the health of your relationships in the workplace. Until next time, lead well.